Alrighty guys, so today we're going to go over currently affordable well, it all depends on your opinion. So we're going to go over Intel first, and then we'll go over AMD. So this is the Intel Core i5, which surprisingly is priced reasonably, $179. And it seems to just be, you're pretty much run-of-the-mill quad core, nothing special there. But one of the big things about Intel is realistically, although this one does not support DDR4, so that's a shame. But it's going to be their cache size, and this really helps, of course, as well as the technologies. Which, if you guys want to pause and read these, you can, but moving on. Now, this would be the i7. This is more for an enthusiast or someone who makes money from their computer. This is something you would want if, for example, making videos. It'll do just fine in gaming. In a way, when it comes to gaming, if you're only going to use it for gaming, it really is overpriced. If you're going to be using this for like software development, animation, things like that, then this is probably where you're going to want to go. Now, one of the things you're going to notice here is not only is it a very high frequency, which is very good, it's a large cache as well, which is great, but it has 8 threads, and it's a quad core. Now, you're probably wondering what this part means. This would mean logical processors. So in a way, you could actually call this an 8 core. Although it is a quad core, it has 8 processors. So, and a good example of that, I believe this one we could use. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So this would be one of the Black Edition's 8 cores. As you can see, when it comes to gaming, this would be the better choice. Or if you just have to build something on a budget, this was the better choice. But you're going to see that although it has 8 cores, it has 8 threads. So that almost makes it the same thing. But instead of having one core do 2 separate things, it has 8 cores to do one separate thing each. So how you can take that, well, that's really up to you. As far as technology goes, for the most part, with OpenCL coming out, Vulkan, that's really going to help. I hope there's a lot of these production companies that are making certain softwares. I hope they do start using more OpenCL optimization or start integrating it into their software, because that would be great, and that might actually, well, anyways, moving on. So this, although would be something you would want to buy if you're a gamer, it's cheap and it gives you a lot more money to spend a lot more money on a graphics card, which is going to be needed a lot more than a processor. So let's go ahead and close out of these. Although if you really needed something cheap, this would be your best bet. It's literally $100 right now on sale, $89.99. This is all at NewEgg. I'm just using their site as references to keep you guys up to date. But say, you play like League of Legends, you play pretty much minor games that they don't need a lot of power, and you just need something that you can put in and you'll be able to play right away. As much as I would love to recommend, Intel, which this would probably be the better one to recommend. I mean, it's pretty expensive at $179, but it does have a pretty good graphics clock at 1.1 gigahertz. But regardless, this is all going to also be based off your memory speed. Now, with the Godiva, you're pretty much going to see the same thing. One of the things this isn't going to really tell you is it's not going to tell you what it really has. It's just going to say AMD Radeon R7, which really makes it hard to know what they're trying to say here. But what they're trying to say here is kind of like what you would have saw with the Intel Devil's Canyon with the 8 threads. I Imagine this is a quad core with 4 threads and then an additional, whoops, went to the wrong one. And then you have your additional 8 threads. So it's like it has 12 threads, but it's for different stuff. So if you didn't want to buy a graphics card, you just wanted to be able to build something as cheap as possible, as quick as possible, this would be the route to go. And like I said, always gives you more money to spend on a graphics card. But if you're going to get a graphics card, I don't recommend APUs. There's no point in getting an APU. It will actually bottleneck your graphics card trying to use dual graphics with any real graphics card, even if it's DDR3 memory. It's stupid, but it's true. And of course, I saw this, which I thought was pretty cool. The AMD A10, pretty much, I believe, yeah, pretty much the same exact thing. It's Godiva, pretty quick. But one of the most important things is the fact that it's $164.99. Although I do want to see what the GPU clock is. Pretty much these have smashed Intel on the benchmarks when it comes to just integrated graphics. It's not surprising they have 8 individual threads for graphics. But I really want to see what the specs really would be. If it would give me it. Alright. So 900 on the GPU clock with 512 shader cores or whatever you would call that. Shader processors or CUDA cores if you're an NVIDIA user. So this is basically a graphics card. This is literally the R7 that I would have. So that's pretty cool. Alright, other than that, that's it for the video, guys.